Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Christina with Christina Cakes It, and today I'm going to be making a tiger cake. So recently I made a husky cake with a really cool technique, and I knew I was going to want to do another animal, and so I decided to do a tiger. So you guys can see I already have my cake prepped and crumb coated. This is an 8-inch 4-layer cake. And what I have in front of me is some of my homemade marshmallow fondant. So when I was trying to figure out how to do this cake, it actually came to me that I'm gonna sketch the whole face on fondant similar to what I did with my Drake cake, because I think that technique is gonna give me the guide that I need instead of scraping it into the buttercream like I did the husky. So first thing is I am going to roll out some fondant. So you guys can see I created a tiger's face that's the same size as my cake. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace this into the fondant. So all of this is going to get covered in buttercream, so I am not worried if it's not perfectly smooth and if the edges are a little bit crooked. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place this onto my cake. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm placing my parchment paper onto my fondant, and I'm gonna trace this entire outline onto the fondant, and it's gonna leave an indentation. So if you guys watched my Drake cake episode, I did something very similar. So I'm using my fondant dowel tool, and I'm just gonna go over all the lines. I'm gonna trace this whole thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll this out, and I'm gonna make it pretty thick so that this sticks up. So I have my raised fondant here. And just like I did with the rest of the face, I'm gonna trace the shape onto here. And just like I did with the rest of the face, if there's anything that needs to be a little bit darker just for me to see, or like more indented, I'm doing that now. Doing now is I am actually just kind of shaping the fondant so that it's not like a sharp angle. So I'm kind of pressing it down, molding it in. I am going to quickly cut out some ears also, because I think these are going to be raised a little bit as well. Okay, so the next part is the fun part, and what I'm gonna start doing is I'm going to add color to my tiger's face. And for this, I prepped a lot of frosting, and so you're gonna see I obviously have orange, black, and white, and a little bit of pink and a little bit of brown just for some accent. And I will put the tips in the show notes, but I did use Wilton large grass tip 234. I have 2 of those, and I have small grass tip 233. And then you're gonna see that all the outlining that I do are in Wilton tips 3 and 4. So the technique that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna outline the different areas and the different colors that I'm gonna be using, and then I'm gonna go back and fill in. So for the nose, I have a light pink, and this is a Wilton tip 3. And I'm just going to outline the shape following my indentation. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this white. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start filling in this orange, and I'm working from the middle out. So this is my Wilton tip 233. It's a small grass tip. And now I'm gonna go back and start filling in the nose. And I'm gonna take a tiny little spatula and I'm actually going to smooth this out. So now I'm gonna start filling in some of this white, and I do want this to look fur-like, so I am gonna be adding pressure and pulling. And my tiger's chin is gonna be white as well. So I'm just gonna outline next to the black, and then I'm gonna go in with my fur tip. So again, this is my Wilton grass tip 233. So now I'm gonna go back in and add a little black nostril here. And tigers have like little tiny black spots, so I'm gonna add these in like where their whiskers are. So I'm just carefully dabbing here. So the next thing I want to focus on are the eyes, because I think these are going to be pretty complicated. So I'm going to go on the side here and pipe in some orange on this part that's raised. I'm going to match the colors. So for the eyes, I'm going to use my Americolor gel writer, food coloring. And I want to do this because I feel like there's so much detail here that I might not get it with the icing. So I'm just outlining. So what I'm going to do now is take a little bit of brown buttercream and just make a very small line around the pupil. And I'm going to fill in this white here with just a little bit of white buttercream. So after I outline, I'm going back and filling in with the fur tip. But you can see why it's so important to outline, because the detail will blend together, especially around the eyes. You're gonna see that tigers do have, like, it's not completely even lines or markings, and you can go back in and put in like I'm putting in like a little bit of black fur in here. So for some of these areas, I'm gonna use a grass tip to make these black stripes more fur-like. So I think I am gonna raise the ears just a little bit. So I'm gonna insert a cake pop stick into my cake. So now that my tiger's face is complete, I'm gonna start working on the sides of my cake. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to put tiger stripes all over the side of my cake. Alright guys, so my tiger cake is done and I love how this turned out. I think this is a great technique and I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.